Welcome friends, this is going to be a quick-fire summary of the first Alpha 20 development stream. I'll get through it in about 5 minutes and change. Maybe. First up, the Funpimps mentioned that they have been focusing on performance, new art, new crafting, and the random world generation is better than ever. With the additional outsourcing assistance from Decagon, they have 300 plus new high-definition props that has been delivered. And we might get new writable boxes. Maybe. Chainlink fence gates seems to be confirmed looking at the PUI and the chainlink walls. The traders have gotten an update of their compounds, making them bigger and better. Some of you might have seen the Twitter post of their new workbench and the new forge. And the new art includes the pickup truck, new lorry. Unfortunately, they're not drivable. Fatal did highlight in the chat that Alpha 21 worlds are not compatible with Alpha 20. Too many changes. And there's a host of new doors, double doors, elevator doors, etc. And I made a video of that separately. But the vault doors are now available in the double version. We have a new difficulty icon on the HUD, with orange being the biome difficulty and red being the POI, and they all add up. The new prison POI looks great. We have a new infested clear quest where the enemies are multiplied and the tier is counted as one higher. I made another video of that separately. But new is that the infested quests have a special infested loot cache. And there's a new system for crafting based on the learn by looting system. Important to know is that quality level of each tool is based on the specific unlock. So you might be crafting a stone tool to quality 5, but only iron tool to quality 1 until you level up the crafting of tools. You're also able to craft a lower quality, so even if you're able to craft a quality 5, you can choose to craft a quality 1 if you don't have the resources for anything higher. Everyone were of course waiting for the console information and they showcased that, and I made a separate video, but yes, it is progressing. They have it working on the PlayStation 5 and they're looking at an Alpha 22 release whenever that occurs, but check the other video for more details. Random generated worlds have been improved, the roads look better and they generate a lot faster, better selection of POIs and less duplication. You will be seeing more parts out in the world, and a part is basically not quite a POI, but could be for instance a car trailer randomly generated in the world, or a checkpoint which might even have their own zombie sleepers. Traders have been changed so that things that you buy at the trader will be slightly higher than what you can actually loot out in the world. Secret Stash has been removed from the trader and the items simply folded into the general categories that they belong to. Quests will now give 5 reward options that you can choose from, up from the 1 to 5 depending on your skill. That allows you to choose better even without skilling into something in order to find something that really suits you. There have been a bunch of improvements on performance, optimizations. The trees are more performant, AI can handle more zombies due to throttling their actions based on distance. So if they're further away, they don't update their pathing as often because they don't need to, but if they're closer, they still will be. There have been networking improvements to reduce net traffic, which will make multiplayer at least feel better. The new chunk reset feature is in. It is off by default, but it basically means that a chunk that is not protected by an LCB or bedroll basically will reset occasionally depending on your settings. The perk trees have been overhauled. For instance, they've gotten rid of Sex Rex and integrated that with all the skills. So if you increase your Pummel Pete, it will eventually also use less stamina without requiring a second skill. Survival rebalances have been made to water, so you need, for instance, to craft a dew collector, which requires a filter that you can buy from the trader. This means you can no longer just craft a bunch of glass jars and go and fill them up and be good and set with water from day one. Naviskin has been improved. A big change has been made to containers when you loot them. For instance, a small container like trash, it will go poof once you've looted it. Big things like a fridge will show that it's closed if it's lootable. Once it's been looted and empty, it will show the empty model. That should help to make looting a lot more engaging without having to go through every single thing just to see, hey, can you loot it? Can you loot it? Because you'll be able to visually identify it. Spears have been updated. You can no longer throw and they will have a power attack instead, and they have seen their damage buffed. Vehicle physics have been improved, damage is more realistic, and repair kits repair less, so you need more. However, the mechanic perk will allow you to repair more. POIs now have hazards, such as the fire hazard. Water has been reworked and is no longer individual blocks, so it will flow better and perform better in the game. Wandering hordes have been tweaked. There's an increased chance for loot bags. If you like the Twitch integration, it will now have an extension that works even from phones. And it will support things like custom events for subs and gift subs and hype trains and all that. Small quality of life improvement. When you pick something up, it will tell you not just how many you picked up, but how many you have in your inventory. So when is Alpha 21 coming? Good question, but they're only looking at 2 or 3 more dev streams, so maybe. A new game feature is that you can spawn near your backpack after your death. And while the bandits will not be in Alpha 21, they are being worked on to allow them to duck, get into cover, and so on. There was a question about will console and PC have crossplay, and the Funbeam said that if Microsoft and Sony agree, that yes, it's quite a lot of work, but yes, they want to have that in if they're allowed to. If you love to build, well, there's a lot of new shapes and models. They're counting at something like 2,000 shapes. And stay tuned for the art development stream. See you next time.